Hey guys, what's going on? This is Clay, and something a little bit new coming at you right now. I decided to do a little bit of a short vlog tonight. Just had some stuff on my mind, wanted to talk about, just kind of get it out there. But I've been thinking a lot about, as a musician or as an artist, the moment, and you can define that moment in however you see it, but for me, as a guitar player, that moment is usually, like those few seconds before I hit that boost and step out front for a solo. Or if it's, I actually just recently watched a John Mayer video when he talked about his experience. He one of his songs on his Continuum album, he recorded in one day, and they had nothing prepared. Just he and two other guys showed up and just kind of put their creative heads together and created a song. And I was kind of thinking about, it just struck me, what was going through his mind, like 10 minutes before those two guys came. What was he thinking about? Or so for me right now, as I'm, about to go to bed, what am I thinking about? Knowing that, tomorrow morning is Sunday and I'm playing at church and I got a solo during a Lincoln Brewster song. What am I going to play for that solo? What are you going to do to try to capture that moment? And, for me, that's one of the reasons why I am so drawn to improvisation. That's reminds me of another video I watched. It was a Warren Haynes and Trey Anastasio. They did a little commentary once, and Warren talked about how you kind of get into this space where your hands are just one split second ahead of your brain, and you're just kind of hanging on. And just in how he said how important it is to dwell in that space. And he said that if you try to get out of it, that's when it all falls apart. But if you just kind of let yourself dwell in that moment, something really powerful can happen. And I think that it's crazy because it is such a polarizing, experience sometimes. Because I am sure we've all had it, if you're a guitar player or anything, where that moment has gone totally flat and it just failed. And, you step up for your solo and you lead off with a totally wrong note, or, just something like that happens where it just goes totally wrong. So you have that fear in your mind of, what if this doesn't work out? That was one of the things that John said in his commentaries. He said, what if it just doesn't happen? And what if I get these two guys in here and we just get nothing, and we're just totally roadblocked and we have nothing to show for it? So you have to deal with that fear. But then on the other hand, that is when some of the best stuff is actually created. Think about for Jimi Hendrix, when he was in the studio and he laid down that first wah lick for Voodoo Child. That lick has spawned countless people, just absolutely captured people. That lick almost speaks for an entire generation. So for him to capture that specific moment in the recording studio, to come up with that sound and that lick at that moment, there's such power there. And so I just I'm almost trying to preach this to myself, but just to kind of see and just kind of state that there's such power and such beauty in that moment, and to not be afraid of it. Even if you have those solos where it is totally a dud, that's all right. You can learn from it and you can go forward the next time. But I think that those moments, as a musician, as an artist, I think that those are moments that define, and those are moments that we keep coming back for. But really, it almost seems like the only way to truly capture them is to just kind of open yourself to whatever that moment has, and just to kind of embrace the moment. You're not thinking ahead, you're not thinking behind, you're just kind of forgetting and just kind of being wherever you're at. And that kind of sounds kind of fancy-pantsy, philosophy, crazy, mystical. But really, I think it's important as an artist to to try to find those spaces, to try to find those moments, and to embrace them, to engage them, and not try to, because you can't put music in a box. You can't just say, I'm going to be creative from this time to this time, and that may work for some people, but certainly that does not work for everybody. There has to be an element of spontaneity, an element of creativity, because you're taking something where there was nothing and you're putting something in its place. But anyways, as I go to sleep and as I get ready for whatever tomorrow has, it's just a guitar solo. It's not a big deal. But I was just reflecting and trying to think about, my place in that whole production and what tomorrow will hold for me. And yeah, I hope I can encourage you. I can try to push you guys to try to embrace those moments, to try to just kind of relish and enjoy them when they happen. And in some respects, that's life. That's the way that life happens. You spend so much time going through your routine, but then when it all builds to a moment, and when that moment happens, embrace it and love it, because they don't come too often. So anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is Clay, and I will see you all again soon. Bye.